Hello everyone, auspicious greetings to you. Today again, we are going to another section of meditation. So let's start with a little bit warming up. The weather here in Texas is a little bit gloomy this morning, but it's okay. Anyway, we just keep our mind peaceful and calm. So let's start with our little warming up. First, of course, in front of the desk and staring at a computer or laptop, you will feel your head is a little bit steep, or near your shoulder. So we are going to exercise our head and neck and shoulder. So first, we turn our head to the left and looking back at just looking back. Okay, now turn left and looking back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now slowly back to the center. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the center. Left. Looking back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To the center. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To the center. To the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the center. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now rotate our head down a little bit and then rotate to the left, to the back, to the right, and go back to the center. Again, left, up, down, right, center. Again, left, up, down, right, left. Now beginning with the right side. Right, up, down, left, center. Again, right, up, down, left, center. Again, right, up, down, left, center. Okay, exercise our steep shoulder, bring them up, backward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now our wrist, our waist, just rotate from left to the right, left to the right, left to the right, left to right. 2 more times, left, right, left, right, right to the left, right, to the left, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now our knees. I will stand a little bit closer to my mat so you can see. Okay. Now swing your 2 arms as high as your shoulder. I count 5 and you swing 1 to 5. You swing your 2 arms 6, and you have to bend down a little bit and up, bend down and up, and bend down and up. Okay, so let's go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Relax and ease, and please go back to your seat. Before we go to practice meditation, just remember you are going to sit on a Bodhi tree, the tree that Buddha had been set. So under this tree, let's find our inner peace. After the knocking of 3 times of wooden fish, please pay attention to your breathing in and out. Let yourself be at the present moment. If you are not familiar with the 7 points or 7 positions for taking meditation, please look at the screen. We have words for pay attention to the 7 points of meditation. No rush to open your eyes. Remember to rub your hands until they're warm and massage your head, your face, and pull a little bit of your ears and your neck. Okay. Rub them again till they are warm. Massage your shoulder, your arms, your fingers. Rub your two hands again, and this time put them at the back of your wrist, waist, and massage your waist. Rub them again. Massage your legs, your knees, your feet. Okay, now slowly open your eyes, and we are going to start a new section. Just give me 1 minute and I'll see you again. Hello everyone, welcome back to the second section. So we are going to talk about another, I think is very interesting topic. Let me share my screen. Okay, you can see this. The title or the topic we're going to discuss is the wellness in a digital world. So that's the fact. We are all living in a technology era or technology age, and we will talk it and emphasizing on the bad side or the side effects of the technology bringing us. I think most of us have been working from home or just staying in your place or in your house. We all sometimes we have a Zoom fatigue, using too much Zoom meeting and exhausted all our energy. So we feel tired after one day or after 1 day meeting, or even for me, even 2 hours, I think I'm so tired. I cannot hardly open my eyes full like this. So that's one symptoms, I think. And of course, we are also distracted from our work because we work from home. Then we have so many maybe family members with us. So we have so many co-workers, like in our temple. We have the other 2 nuns, so we are in an office. So sometimes we are distracted when we using our devices. And also, of course, we have some pressure, like I'm using online for the position of a director of our preschool. I have to go online classes and also online test, and it's coming up. Everything is coming up just suddenly on your screen. And also, like I said, we burn out ourselves at the end of the meeting. So it all we can say is digital overwhelming. And of course, 1 year ago, that from Medical News Today, they included some psychological effects and physical health effects. And of course, it's all negativity of overused technology or become addicted to technology. So let's take a look. Psychologically, we feel isolated because we have less chance to talk to the real person. So sometimes it blocks out our ideas and our conversation because that's not real. We don't see each other and we don't feel their feeling and we don't feel the meaning. So it becomes a little bit isolated. And of course, that's obesity. Obesity, if we are staying home, okay, then it's very easy for us to get things just throw to our mouths, right? We just keep eating because we lack of exercise. And some of them, they feel depressed because they don't have social activities or they don't have social connection to each other. And of course, we have anxiety. Last week, we talked about 4 modes or 4 types of thinking when we encountering things we have to solve. But one thing is that if we can think like a scientist, so maybe that will bring us to another side. Another side for negativeness is positiveness. So today here we are going to see more. Before that, we have a lot of researches to suggest us to how to avoid addicted to the technology or digital devices. And the advices include we can cut down our idle moments, which saying that it especially for the youth or the teenager people, they just grab or carry always with the cell phone with them. So they talk, they can sing, they can glance all kinds of apps. So they cannot live without the cell phone. And sometimes when they have time to take a rest or they have idle time, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to handle it. So it said if we want to avoid addiction of technology, we cut down idle moments. Because when you feel bored, you just want to maybe turn on your TV or just turn on your cell phone. So we can avoid idle moment by writing, by reading or take meditation or take even exercise. And the other way to avoid addiction or overuse of technology is we use technology to help us to stay off technology, such as we can delete the video games which are distract you, or we can use app to remind us, such as how many hours have we spent on 1 week on the screen, such things. And also we can turn off they called non-human notifications, such as news from the stock market or some the texts, and that's notifications. And also we increase our outdoor activities time. Just start with a small thing. And of course, all of us now just keep our cell phone out of the bedroom. When you want to go sleep, please put your cell phone on another room. Don't bring it to your bedside. It's not a bedside story time. Okay? And of course, unplug totally our computer off before we go to bed. And take breaks, takes times off, so we can have fresh air. So those are the ways to avoid being addicted to our technology. But the fact is, every day we find out new and more advanced technology devices. So digital technologies are integrated much in our daily life. We have to admit that, right? That's a fact. And that's why we can come up with some more creative and realistic ways to create our happiness in a digital world. It's not like at the beginning I let you see the negative sides of living in a digital world. We have to have another thinking, a more scientific thinking, how to create and accept the facts. And also, it's time to make some changes to create a more positive digital culture in our life. So now we are not just standing there or just sitting there, but with all kinds of digital devices around us, we have changed our thinking and we accept the fact, and also we have to create a more positive digital culture in our life so that we can have a balanced life. Not only that's one thing we are afraid is that we are under control of all kinds of digital devices. So in Google, I found out this one, digital flourishing wheel, and that was created by an institute called Digital Wellness Institute. They have a differentiation, and also they make they call dimensions. 8 dimensions of how to create wellness in this kind of situation. That's what we call the digital world. I know it's very small words, in this wheel, but I think everyone can go deeper to make research about all this, because I think these words is very fancy right now, because they even have the training for a digital flourishing instructor. Just teach you how to become balanced in our digital world. See, it's a very fancy world and fancy profession here. And now I just write down the 8 categories or 8 points about the wheel. The first one, of course, is productivity. When we at work, we pay attention to our productivity, the contribution to our work or our team. So the same, when we use our computer or our digital devices, the first thing we want to hold on is, can we still have whole productivity in our work just as we work in the office? Right now we work from home. the only devices we use is our computer. So how to maintain our productivity? So we have to find the focus and flow in work. I think most of us have that kind of experience, is that when we are in a very important meeting and suddenly you just got the text news from one of your friends and asking you questions, or maybe ask you, do you want to go out to walk on a park, something like that. So if we want to keep our productivity, we have to learn to minimize our distraction or enhance our focus. So that's one thing we have to be aware of. And the second thing is that environment. We don't like to work in a very unorganized space, right? So everyone feel comfortable in an organized and comfortable working space. So it becomes that even though we work at home, we work from home, we are not in the office, but still we have to keep our things organized and tidy, so that we can create our environment in a orderly, in a comfortable situation. And of course it will increase our, I think, mentally can increase our productivity. So it's very related. Your space, just like when we take meditation, our body is our anchor. But at the same time, we have to be aware our space. If our space is quiet, our space is calm, then we feel comfortable to sit on or to continue our breathing in and out. But when you feel the space around you is unsecure or is very noisy, of course it's not a good place for you to take meditation. So that's the same thing when we work. Even just a computer in front of you is a computer, but still we need to keep our space clean, organized, and make it comfortable. And from the outside, we have some communication and relationship. And that's very important too. When we use the technology devices, we have to have sense that we are building social interaction through digital devices. So what's very important for us is that we need to be more attention to our work. And when we communicate with others, we don't say or we don't have the extra time to say, to have a, if we are at work, we need to pay attention to our work and our minds doing thinking. So communication, even though we can get the chance to do the social interaction, but we have to pay attention to not interrupt it, or we come up with some ways or come up with some thinking that can protect us not being interrupted so often. So maybe you can set a boundary for this kind of social interaction to make yourself more secure in your surrounding, in your environment. And of course, when we talk about relationship, we now naturally we have so many groups, right? Chat groups in our cell phone. But one thing we have to pay attention is that it's better for us to focusing on the quality, not only quantity of our groups. If the person or the groups keep feeding you information without any meaningful or without any, it's unmeaningful to you, then you can reduce. You can cut off the relationship with this kind of group. You don't drag by them. Maybe a lot of people say, it's okay, it's only information, I don't care. But when you take a look for maybe few seconds, repeatedly, I think that's a consuming of your energy. It's a kind of interruption. So when we think about the relationship through technology devices, our focusing on the quality instead of quantity of persons and groups or conversations, I think that's very important for us. Otherwise, we just wait and see, and day by day we will be affected by these connection with no meaning at all. So that's one thing I would like to say, the relationships. So we have our quality of our connection online. Just don't follow people or groups that bring no meaning to us. Okay, and the next one is our mental health. I think that's very obvious. Our mental health, that means we don't really use as our energy up. We have to set our screen time. Don't just sit all day long in front of your computer, in front of your technology devices. You have to do some exercise, or you set your screen time. Or even, according to the expert said, every morning you just write a note reminding you how much time are you going to spend on using technology devices. So you set your time limit. Don't let yourself to be consulted in devices. Okay? And of course, when we talk about physical health, that means physically we need a balanced mind and healthy body. So how to pay attention to our posture, I think that's very important, because our posture in front of our computer is very important, because we are sitting maybe hours and hours. So the right posture will keep us not feel back pain or my neck or my stiff shoulders. Okay, so physical health is one thing we have to be aware of. Okay. And the next one is quantify self. When I first see this, it's very new for me. But they said, since we are part of the big data, we are just one small part of the big data, right? So it's time for us to use the digital devices like a smart watch. We can talk, we can see the time, we can tell the time, and also these little devices can tell us how many steps we take every day, right? So that's quantified. We use technology devices to track our health so that we can have self-care. Everybody doing this, right? So that's quantify self. Just use the devices to keep us tracking or understand ourselves or understand our health or the situation. So it's good to have technology devices. It helps us that. And also we have to learn. That remind me, it says we have to be the digital citizen, or we have to learn how can we do to play a part of being a digital citizen. It's very important. We use the devices a lot, and just like we receive some learning from school, we learned manners. When we go to another place, we learned etiquette, right? And of course, we learn ethics, and we knowing how to respect people. So that's the same. When we say, as I remind that Master Xing Yun said, it doesn't belong to the certain group. He belongs to the whole world. So he said we should learn how to be a global citizen, right? But here we're saying that we are going to have awareness in our digital world. So how to have awareness, well-being, then we have to learn something. We have to learn the standards, we have to learn ethics, or we have to learn manners, how to use or how to control our technology devices. So we learn online etiquette, ethics, and we know privacy and security. And the most important is that we can take a piece of information when we receive that or news. We have to think critically with our mind, with our judgment. We don't just follow everyone's saying. We have to think it carefully and critically about news, about information, about ideas, about conversations before we do the response. So this is only just a very little tips about these 8 areas, how to sustain our wellness living in the digital world. I think that's very important. We don't have to be really controlled by the AI or something very advanced machine. And one thing is important, if we don't know how to use that, that doesn't mean we are not a digital citizen. We can learn how to use the new devices. But the basic spirit is that we know how to be a good digital citizen. A good digital citizen, he can do some contribution to the community with his comments or his words, or even you can see they set up some platform. They can help people, and also they are response to their comments. They don't just spread words all randomly to the platform. They have to be responsible, and they are compassionate, and digital citizens, they know the rules, they know the standards. So that's the new change around us. The world is changing, and we observe, just like we observe our breathing. It's long or short, it's warm or cold. We know that, and we are living in this world. Just like when we meditate, we depend our physical body to do the practicing. So we are practicing in this world. Okay. Now, at last, I would like to share some perspective from the Buddhism. The first thing we learn is that everything is impermanent. That we know, right? But how to really accept that? That means we accept the changes, even though the change is rapidly. So that's one thing. The world is changing. So we know. Then we accept that. And then how we use that. So science and Buddhism, they are not opposing or contradicting to each other. They can combine and mutually compatible. And also, we use modern devices. We don't see them as a evil thing. It's neutral. It depends on how we use that. There's no good nor bad, but if we can use it in a good way and that's helpful. Okay? If we overuse that or we become addicted, of course, it's not a good way. It's a bad way to use that. And also, from Buddhist perspective, Buddhists can employ skillful means adapting to today's world. So the modern technology, it can help us to propagate Buddhism in a more convenient way. I think you can see that, right? Especially in these 2 years, we use Zoom meeting, and the Zoom can reach out to thousands of people. Just like we just had the annual members general meeting. We have thousands of people joining us, even though we are living in a different corner of the world. So if we can use these modern technology, it's really helpful and really convenient for us. And of course, when we say the wheel as a wellness flourishing, the digital flourishing wheel, when they say flourishing, that means we use it in a perfect way. Just like in Buddhism, we follow the middle path. We don't deny it, but we are not addicted to it. So when we use all kinds of technology devices, we use them with wisdom and compassion. Of course, without attachment. If we are too attached to it, we become addicted to it. So Buddhism fills a gap for people in a fast changing and technology, I don't like this word, but it's true, dominated society. But if we are not overusing that and we are not addicted to it, technology help us a lot. Help us to promote the Buddhism. Help us to get closer, even though we are now in the different corner of the world. So maybe we can change our mind if once we deny all the technology devices, but right now we can use it. We can have another point of view to use it in a right way. Okay, so that's today's sharing, and thank you, and see you next week. Goodbye.